Hey guys, welcome to Track by Track Reviews, sponsored by Budweiser. My name is Rory Sullivan, and today we're going to be talking about a band called Polar Bear. One of the things that's getting kind of old right now is bands with the name Bear in them. I mean, just think about it. You've got Grizzly Bear, Bear in Heaven, who put out their album last year, Minus the Bear, The Polar Bear Club, I know there's another one, The Bare Naked Ladies, oh, and Panda Bear, no shit. But yeah, this band's been around since 2004, which makes them older than, I think, all of those bands, actually. But they're from Britain, and I didn't expect it, but they're an experimental jazz band. I spotted them on Metacritic, and they were kind of up there in the numbers, and I hadn't even heard of them. And I found out they were up there because they have like 4 reviews that were all really high. But still, I was compelled to check it out because I'm always looking for new good jazz, which is kind of hard to find nowadays. And hey, they're led by a drummer, which is never bad. Just ask Genesis. His name's Sebastian Rockford, and he's doing a lot of stuff right now. He's working apparently with the likes of, he drummed on that David Byrne and Brian Eno record. He's working with Corinne Bailey Rae and Herbie Hancock. So he's doing a lot of stuff, and he's obviously pretty talented. And his hair's pretty awesome, too. And this is a 5-piece band. They've got the drums, double bass player, a guy on guitar who also does some experimental stuff, and 2 tenor sax players. And despite being led by a drummer, who I think writes all the songs, like composes them, definitely the saxophones really drive this record, and oh my god, the saxophone playing is so good on this album. So let's go track by track and check it out. The first track on the album is called Happy For You, and the title of the song pretty much describes the mood of the song, because the second those saxophones come in, you're just hit with a wave of pure joy. The first time I heard this song and the saxophones came blasting in, I had what I call a mirror moment. Just every part of this song is executed to perfection. I really can't describe just how good this song is. It's such a good change of pace to hear something that shows a lot of talent, 1, and 2, just appeals to all my senses at once. The next song is called Bop Bop Bop, and once again the title pretty much describes the song, because there's this bop 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 rhythm, which sort of drives the song, and the saxophones play off each other really well. It's really cool to hear just one take a lead and then one drop back and just go off and do their separate things and then solo. There's so much going on with the saxophones in this song. It sounds really cool, and it's just a nice, short, catchy song. The next song on the album is called Drunken Pharaoh. This is probably my least favorite song on the album, and that being said, it's amazing. Melodically, this song just isn't really appealing. The saxophones are doing like this really annoying squeaky thing throughout a big part of the song that really turns me off. This song's impressive because 1, I'm amazed someone could write it, and 2, I'm amazed that someone could play it, because each instrument is sort of off doing its own thing. They could sound together at one point, and then totally sound not together and disorganized and chaotic at another point. So it's pretty crazy. Once again, the title track, Drunken Pharaoh, fits because the band sounds like they're drunk. The next song is called The Love Didn't Go Anywhere, and this is where Polar Bear kind of shows some range. At first I didn't like this song because I thought it was kind of boring, but that's just because it came after Happy For You and Bop Bop Bop, which are some pretty upbeat songs. Well, back then I was a retard, because this song is amazing. The second the saxophone comes in, you just fall in love with this song, because it is just so gorgeous. This is easily the most beautiful song on the album. The next song is called A New Morning Will Come. This is one of the coolest songs on the album because it's got this kind of mysterious, weird mood, and then there's a nice groove in there that goes on for about the first half of the song. It's just really, really cool. And then the groove stops and the saxophone sort of goes in and changes it to a different groove, which is just as cool. And this song just sounds really, really awesome. The next song is the title track, Peepers, and I'd say this is where the guitar adds the most. The saxophones are awesome, you've got this cool garage rock sounding riff coming from the guitar, and then at the end Seb gets to go a little crazy on the drums, which I love. The next song is called Bump. It's about 38 seconds, not really much to it. It's just kind of thrown in there in the middle. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just kind of thrown in there. I'm not really sure why it's on the record, but it's short, so it didn't really bother me. The next song is called Scream, and once again the title tells the tale. It's pretty much 40 or so seconds of saxophones making that really annoying squeaking sound that you heard in Drunken Pharaoh, except it's 10 times more annoying because it's for 40 seconds, and that's the entire song. Once again, not sure why it's on here, but it's short, so it's not a big deal. The next song is called Hope Every Day is a Happy New Year. This is probably one of the most intense songs on the album, also one of the best. About halfway through, I feel like I'm losing my mind. First, there's just this really cool sax part that doesn't make you think anything weird's gonna happen. But then there's this really dark bass line, sort of. And by the way, the bass on this song is really amazing. And then the sax come up and they sound insane, and this is where I feel like I'm losing my mind. The saxophone goes crazy. It's just chaos. It's all, frankly, pretty scary notes. But then the sax part from the beginning that sounds like normal comes up from the background, and you're like, oh, it's gonna pull me out of here. And then we ride that part till the end of the song. Definitely a roller coaster ride with this song. The next song is called Want to Believe Everything. This is a really nice song. I'd say of all the songs on the album, it probably sounds the most traditionally jazz. I think this song needs to be in a movie or something because the mood of it is really interesting. It sounds like you're in a city at like sundown or something. And this is one of the songs on the album that gets better each time I hear it. Unfortunately, at the end, it just kind of cuts off, but still a really, really good song. The next song is called Finding Our Feet. I'd say of all the songs on the album, this is probably where you hear the most experimentation. There's kind of this weird Middle Eastern sounding voice that plays throughout the entire song. For the first minute, it's like just that. And then finally, the drums come in and it's kind of slow, but it sounds cool. And then the bass and sax come in and you're like, oh, this is going to be a good song. And there's kind of some weird like experimentation with the volume at the end, where the Middle Eastern voice sort of cuts out and then cuts back in, and then the instruments cut out and back in. It's kind of odd, and it does make it sound a little weird, but this song's actually really good. It's pretty long, and it might seem boring at first, but if you listen to it more, you'll realize that it's a really good song. The last song on the album is called All Here, and I think this is right where it needs to be, which is at the end. It's slow but not too slow, and it's pretty, which I like in a closing track. Like, I feel like the first track should be energetic, which they did, and the last track should be slow and nice, which is what they did here, and I like it. It builds into some really slow, pretty saxophone playing, and then the album's over. So all in all, I really, really liked this record. It's maybe my favorite record of the year, at least one or two. I feel like the instrumentation is just so good, and all the songs are composed so perfectly. There's all kinds of different moods from song to song, and it just goes together so well as a whole record. And I feel like the cool thing about this band is it's hard to throw them into one category. If you just call them just a jazz band, you'd be leaving out the experimentation, the rock, the pop, everything. You'd be leaving out so much by just labeling them as a jazz band. Seb Rockford is just extremely, he's a genius in my mind for being able to compose all these songs. Like, he did everything so well. I just love this album a lot. I gave it an 8.5. I just keep going back to this record. I've listened to it like a million times, and it's not old. If you like jazz, get this album. I feel like everybody should at least try this album, because it just blew me away from the second I hit play. Like, literally. I just can't say enough good things about this record. It's incredible. So that's our review for this week. This has been Track by Track Reviews. I'm Rory Sullivan. See you guys next week.